So welcome. Thank you for being here on this chilly evening and joining us. This is pretty exciting. I am Julie Hobart. We are North Center Neighborhood Association, and we're so excited to be here because for the first time in 35 years, we are guaranteed to have a new alderman. One of these guys sitting right in front of you. We'd like to thank our partner organizations, Lakeview Action Coalition, ONE, and Roscoe Village Neighbors, who helped us with questions and got people out here, got the turnout. So we really want to thank them as well. If you want more information about who they are, it's on the back of your program. There's also tables with information about the organizations in the back. We'd also like to thank Mr. Z and Coonley School, who generously agreed to host this forum. They made it incredibly easy for us, and it really shows how much schools are really the centers of our communities all throughout the ward. Our candidates, we'd like to thank our candidates as well for taking the time and being here and letting us know what they think and believe in. It's really important to know that. They're going to be doing opening statements, so I'm just going to introduce them quickly. And we have Tom Jacks on my left, Tom O'Donnell, Amaya Pawar, and Matt Reichel. Welcome and thank you. And then finally, our moderator, David Brown, is here. And a little something about David Brown. Thank you so much for doing this. Unbelievable. David Brown is a resident of the 47th Ward and enjoys being active in various neighborhood and community groups. He has lived in Graceland West and Roscoe Village neighborhoods for nearly 15 years. He is a board member and vice president of the Common Pantry that serves many residents in our ward. He is a member of Epiphany United Church of Christ and served on the board of the church for the previous 6 years. When he lived in Roscoe Village, he was on the board of Roscoe Village Neighbors and served as its vice president. He is married with 2 children, who I see his wife over there. Hi, Shannon. And his kids. Hi. and is on the board of Rogers Park Montessori School. He attended Northwestern University, where he received his degree in urban studies and political science, and then went on to receive his master's of public policy at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government, with a concentration in housing and community development. He owns his own business, Harrington Brown LLC, with offices in the Ravenswood corridor, where he advises commercial property owners across the country. And so we are so blessed to have him. So let's get started. Here we go. We'll hand it over to David.
Thank you, Julie, very much. And just to echo, once again, to thank all of the sponsor organizations tonight for what a great event here and a great turnout. And just to say one thing, I think it's important that as everyone leaves here tonight, the whole point of this is to have a better educated electorate and an educated community with open communication. But your job's not over here tonight for yourselves. I think you need to go back to your friends and neighbors afterwards and tell them what you've learned and make sure that we get a good turnout in this election, no matter what you believe or which candidate you choose to support. Maximizing turnout is key. I think it's also important, if we could do this in advance, actually, is to thank these gentlemen, to echo what Julie said, but I think that just to thank them for what they're doing, because public service is not a spectator sport, and what they've decided to do in terms of entering this race does take a lot of courage and personal sacrifice. And there are a lot of us in this room, and these are the only 4 that have made the decision to actually put themselves out there in a race like this. To run for elected office, as we know, is quite a challenge these days. So if we could give them a round of applause as we begin. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty here in terms of I want to outline the format for tonight. Tonight's format was created by the sponsors and was reviewed in advance with the candidates, and they all did agree to participate and follow the guidelines. We will start with an opening statement for each candidate with 2 minutes, and as Julie said, that'll be the opportunity for each of these candidates to tell you a little bit about themselves, their background, their qualifications, and what they see that they would be able to do for the 47th Ward. So I'll not spend any time on introductions as well. So after the opening statement, then we're going to have 2 separate rounds of questions for the candidates. The first round will consist of 6 questions agreed to by tonight's sponsor organizations on issues important to them and their membership. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to respond to each of these questions in the first round. We have our official timekeepers down here that will be reminding myself and the candidates when there's 1 minute remaining on a 2-minute question and 30 seconds, and also 30 seconds remaining on the shorter questions. And then also when the time has expired, we'd like to adhere to that. After the first round of 6 questions, we'll then move on to the lightning round, which will be questions which they'll be given, would be drawn at random of we had about 20 questions that had been submitted by organizations and residents, so we'll draw those at random, and we'll do 5 of those questions, which each candidate will have 1 minute to respond. I would point out that in the event that, I guess my discretion, that if we feel like a candidate has not fully answered the question or the intent of the question, there will be an opportunity for the moderator to ask them 30 seconds at the end for either clarification or to expand. After that, it'll be time to move on to the closing statements, where each candidate will be given 2 minutes to wrap up any loose ends from tonight's questioning and make the case for why they should get your vote. The guidelines, the audience is asked to respect each candidate's ability to answer the questions and refrain from applause or verbal comments during tonight's program. As Julie said, we want to cover a lot of ground here in a 2-hour program, so we will adhere to our strict timelines. I've mentioned what the timekeepers will be doing. Candidates are also asked to respect our guidelines, use their allotted response time only to answer the question that they're asked, and not to use that time to expand on a previous question or to rebut another candidate's response. The order of the candidate questioning, I thought it would be good to mix it up a little bit here. So the order for the candidates for the opening statements and the closing statements will be drawn at random, and you'll see me do that in front of your eyes. And then for the answering of the individual questions, we will rotate not just the order of first response and last response, but who follows the other. So I thought before we started with the actual questions, I'd just want to get one thing out of the way, and if I could just see a show of hands from the candidates. Have each of you lived in the city of Chicago for the past 12 months? Okay. So let the record show that each of the candidates did raise their hands in the affirmative, and let's get this forum started. Oh boy. Okay, so here are each of the 4 candidates' names put in the official North Center Neighborhood Association box, and we'll draw them out for their opening statements. Mr. O'Donnell, you have the honors of starting us off.
My name is Tom O'Donnell. I've lived in this ward for 25 years. I raised my children here. I've been an aide to Sheriff Tom Dart since he was elected, and an advisor. I'm a special assistant to the sheriff. Prior to that, I was administrative assistant commissioner for the city at the Department of Aviation, where I worked on legislative matters for the department and some of the challenges that O'Hare has been facing. I still find myself very much involved with that. I've been active in the ward for the last 10 years. I've been president of the Ravenswood Community Council, and for 4 years I was president of the Wells Park Advisory Board. I've been a president of the Lakeview Kiwanis, and so we go out and sell peanuts in September and those type of things. I feel very much that I've been an active participant in this community, and that I will do a good job as alderman of the 47th Ward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Donnell. The next one is Mr. Jacks.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Jacks, and it's really glad to see everyone here. One of the reasons why I'm running is to increase community engagement in the ward. I also want to help implement budget and ethics reform, and be very committed to the people of the ward. So one of the things that I have not and will not do is take campaign contributions from anybody. I feel that that'll help me remain independent, and I do not want to be tied to the same interest groups of Chicago politics. We all know that there's a lot of change coming to the city with a new mayor, obviously, and then several, or really many, at least a dozen new aldermen.